Okay, waiting for the server to sync. Oh, we're gonna have the same issue as last time.
I think it's solved itself. What about your side?
It's still saying waiting for server. We are live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Project Vapour Evening Dash Season 2, Round 6. We are at Imola, waiting for the server. I'm Sinclair. Tonight I'm joined by my fellow caster, Andre. Hopefully we're going to have a nice action-packed multi-class race here in Le Mans Ultimate tonight at the famous Imola. How are you feeling there?
I'm feeling all right. Thank you for asking. But yeah, I am very keen for tonight. It is a very interesting circuit with a lot of interesting turns, and more importantly, the traffic management here is something to look out for.
Yeah.
Purely for the fact that it is a very tight circuit. I think we're gonna see quite a bit of argy-bargy. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, because people are gonna try go for very narrow margins. And yeah, it's just going to be a very interesting night.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know how you feel about this.
Dude, it's 3 classes that everyone is ready to fight. You know, it's the cutting edge hypercars, the liquor competitive LMP2s, and then the fan favorite LMGT3s. I think Imola always delivers liquor drama, you know, narrow straights, those punishing curves, and iconic corners like the Acqua Minerale and Ravazza. It's gonna be a real test for the guys. I was chatting to them after practice last night, and they were telling me about how actually tired they were after practice. You know, like it actually took a lot out of them, and it wasn't as chilled as Le Mans from last week. So it actually is gonna take a toll on the drivers. My thing is still saying waiting for server. How is yours looking?
Mine is already in the session, so I guess I'll just play. I guess we'll just treat this like a radio show at the moment while things just kind of sort themselves out.
Yeah,
But it
let me
seems like
see.
most of the people here are on their outlaps.
Okay.
So yeah, we currently have Ernest in the Hypercar, newcomer to the series, who is currently on Sector 2, and so is Jihan Kleinans. So they're also coming very close to the end of the lap, including Noor Mansour, who is also a newcomer in the Hypercar class. Ari Fenter has just crossed the second sector marker, and there we go. We have a first timing on the board by Ernest, which is a 1.32.7, which is trailed. Oh no, sorry, it's beaten by Jihan Kleinans with a 131.7. And Noor Mansour also beats Ernest with a 132.1. So yeah, the hypercar class is definitely one of the classes at the moment to look at. As we also see Ari Fenter with a 134.7, and Lee Bouillon with a 132.6. So the current order for the hypercar class is Jihan Kleinans in first, Noor Mansour in second, Lee Bouillon in third. Oh, sorry, that's just been updated as Muath Musa has just taken provisional pole with a 130.8. But yeah, as follows: Lee Bouillon in fourth, Ernest Limburgs in fifth, and Ari Fenter in sixth. In the LMP2 class, it is the usual sights of Chris Stoltz on provisional pole for his class, the 136.8. Niall Greening with a 139.3 in second, Rob van der Heever in third with a 139.5, Danny Steenkamp in fourth with a 140.8, and then Paul Fenter in fifth with a 142.5. Henko van den Berg still needs to put a lap time, including Sean Laredo. But in the GT3 class, we have Vietia Buertha in provisional pole with a 145.5 over Alan Patterson with a 146.4 in second place, with Carl Osterhuizen with a 146.5. Jody Siereman with a 146.9 in fourth. Ulrich de Jager with a 147.1 in fifth. JD Geldenays with a 147.1 in sixth. Johan Blichnoot with a 147.2. Unusual spot to find him in. And in 8th, Willie de Grand with a 149.4. And in 9th position, Grand Lecure with a 156.2. Mondre Klaassen, another newcomer, still on his lap in 10th place. And David van Wyk in 11th, also on his lap. So yeah, very busy around the grid. But honestly, it has been quite dramatic in the hypercar class at the current moment.
Just so you know, we are live. Stream is caught up. I'm connected. Everything's looking good. If we can get a thumbs up in the chat also, if everyone can just give us a thumbs up to say that everything's okay, that'll be awesome. So in the hypercars here, we got Muat Musa. He's on his push lap here. He's done a 130.6.
Yeah, he's cleared 4 tenths from this man in second place, the Cadillac driver of Noor. So he is already establishing his dominance early on, but we'll have to see how that plays out.
Exactly. And I'm also going to be watching the new guy, Ernest Limburgs. He is fast. He was very fast in practice. And he was very close. I saw him do a 130.6 in practice as well. So I'm sure that time is going to be updated very, very shortly. With newcomers, I like to call him Noor Mansour. Him and Ernest were in practice with me on Monday night. I had a nice chat to get to know them. Awesome bunch of guys. Happy to have them in the league. So yeah, gonna bring some excitement to the hypercar class tonight. It's always good to have some fresh blood. And there goes Muat. He improves by a few hundredths to 130.587. Well done to him. Kristal's just finished his lap with the 134.7. Not bad, not bad. And then Johan Blichnout leading the GT3s. Yeah, he's on his another fast lap here now in the BMW. Oh,
that's more like it
through Aqua Minerale there. Oh, I
love
it.
That's more like it from Blichnout. That's more where
pushing.
We tend to see him.
He is pushing. We got 2 minutes left here, which means he could probably do this one and then another lap after this.
Behind him is Vietia Buertha, 4 tenths behind or so. So not too comfortable of a gap, but also comfortable enough that he can give it another go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just looking at the standings right now, Chris is still leading in the LMP2s with Henko chasing him down. Ernest just took the lead with a 130.1, 4 tenths faster than Muat. I knew they were going to bring the fire.
4 tenths clear. 4 tenths clear. Muat has to put the hammer down. He is currently on a lap, but I think this is his final lap. The wrench icon has appeared. So we have to see how much up on his time is he as he comes across the start-finish straight, comes across the line. And that is only a 10th improvement. So he is 3 tenths behind.
Oh my word. And Noor is in the pit, so he's not going to make it for a lap. And then we've got Ian Kleinans. He's improving on his times. He goes for a 131.2. He is 1.1 seconds off the pace in 4th place.
Just not fast enough. It seems like Ernest is setting the pace from the get-go, but I think Kleinans is going for another run, so we'll see if he's able to claw back some of that time as we see Niall Bullion. Oh no, not Niall, sorry. Niall is unfortunately not able to join us today. He's here watching. We miss him very deeply. It would have been amazing to have him here. Ooh, Kleinans had a big snap, so that's probably his lap done, but Noor, interestingly enough, is on his out lap, so he might give it another go.
I don't think he's going to make it. Is he going to make it?
Yeah, I don't think so. It's too far back. He's way too far back.
Okay, so we got Johan in the clear lead in the GT3s. I don't think anyone's going to beat him there. We got Kyle Oosthuizen who might be able to put in a decent time here. Let's see if he can get to that 143.9. He does not. He only does a 145.1. That makes me feel good. I was just saying to the guys in practice I was able to do a 145. So I feel like I still got it in the GT3s. And I haven't actually raced in a while. So, yeah, I feel like I at least could be competitive here tonight. But definitely not as fast as Johan, who has done a 143.9. What a lap. 4 tenths faster than the next driver, Vietia Buertha. And then David van Wyk in third place in the GT3s. Looks like everyone is in the pits. Nuri's still trying to get an outlap in here, but he can't. The red flag is out. It's done. You can't do anything now anymore. I think Ari might still be on a lap here.
Henko was also on a lap, but Chris solidified his pole by a whopping 1.4 second gap to P2 Henko van den Berg.
What a legend.
Insane stuff.
What a legend by him, man. Yeah. That's a great performance.
Stuff. Yeah, again, just showing, even with this new tire update, that Chris Stoltz is very much the man to be looking after.
Yes, absolutely.
He is not going to let go of that trophy.
Yeah, and I'm going to show the session results here. Starting with the GT3s, we got Johan Blichnout in first, Jette Botha, David van Wyk, Alan Patterson, Jody Siedemann, Kyle Oosthuizen, Mandre Klaassen, JD Geldenhuys, Grant Leclerc, and Ulrich de Jager in 10th place. And then behind him, we've got Willy Lagrange. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then in the hyperclass, we got Ernest Limburgs, Moat Musa, Noor Mansour, Ian Kleinans, Lee Bouillon, and Ari Venter. And then lastly, in the LMP2s, we've got Chris Stoltz, Henko van der Berg, Neil Greening, Paul Venter, Danny Steenkamp, and last but not least, Rob van Heerfer.
Yeah, quite the lineup. Especially, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be focusing on the hypercars because this is interesting. This is a new pole sitter, and he is setting the charge, especially in the Cadillac. So I'm going to be very curious going into T1 how that's going to be looking, especially with Moat's end. He's trying to make up for that DNF that he had at Circuit de la Sarthe. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Especially in the GT3 class as well. Vietia Botha had a stunning qualifying. He was in the run for pole, but just didn't have enough in the tank as well. So that's a man to be looking at during the race.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're looking at the starting order now. We got the hypercars, then the LMP2s, and then we got the GT3s following up behind them. It is quite a long start. It takes quite a long time for them to get to the start-finish line from where they are. So the GT3s will start almost halfway to the back of the track. So yeah, that should be very interesting. I have been kicked from the server. Oh no!
Oh,
Is it happening again? I feel like it's happening again.
Oh no! I can stream my screen, but it's but it's a very unprofessional, like sort of.
Yeah, let's hope it gets fixed. Because I'm not dropping, the stream is not dropping. There's no more drops in the. So I don't know if it's my internet or if it's the stream.
Okay, yeah. So they are lining up. On my broadcast, there's very little information on screen, but we'll try to keep you up to date with what is happening as the drivers are lining up. We have a stacked hypercar grid, a stacked LMP2 grid, and a stacked LMGT3 grid as we watch them line up to that start-finish straight as we see two Jota Hertz Cadillacs, one in front of the other, and two Ferraris and two Toyotas. As we see green flag, drive-through penalty for P3, Noor Mansour, Ari Venter and Lee Bouillon as Limburgs gets a great start, and so does Noor. He is challenging for the lead, but he holds back as Moath and Limburgs go side by side, but Limburgs takes the lead early on, and that forces Moath to follow the leader. And as we see at the back, Chris Stoltz has lost the lead to Van den Berg, and they are going nose to tail right now. And behind them, in the LMGT3 class, Johan Blichnout still maintaining the lead, but P2 has been stolen by David van Wyk. Something has happened to Vietia Botha, and Alan Patterson has got a drive-through penalty. So a lot of drive-through penalties here. Very unexpectedly. I was not expecting that, especially 3 of them in the hypercar class. So that sets people back as Kleinans is trying to make his way through the grid.
Yeah, we are back. We are back online. Sorry about that, everyone. I don't know what is going on. It's update night, so I'm guessing something here is wonky. But yeah, I'm back. The stream is running fine. It looks like the stream health is okay for now, and we'll hopefully keep it going from here. See, there's a yellow flag on track. Oh no, who is that?
Is it? Oh, it's one of. I think it's one of the LMP2s. I might be mistaken, but I think it might have been. I saw a pop. No, it was Lee Bouillon. Oh no, sorry. Lee Bouillon is serving his penalty while everyone else on track is still opting to go out. So Noor and Ari are still going out while Bouillon is serving his drive-through penalty.
Okay, so it's still full course yellow. I don't know. Is it? It's not Lee. Is it Alan? Maybe Alan is in the pits. He's also serving his penalty. We got Willy Lagrange. He's chasing down Ulrich de Jager.
Ooh, and there's a battle between
William got a penalty.
Oh, did he just get a penalty coming out of the pits? So yeah, that's a stop-go 30 for Lee Bouillon. So that sets him even further back. What is happening with these penalties today?
Oh, it's Imola, man. That's what happens. That's what happens. This track is crazy. My dashboard, the numbers that are displaying here are wonky. I don't know what is going on here.
Yeah, the same is happening to me. And it's making it difficult to follow the action. But speaking of action, Kleinans and Noor have been fighting, and Kleinans has managed to make it through. But Noor is on the back foot because now he's going back into the pits as he's trying to serve his drive-through. That's going to set him back. He needs to be careful with that pit entry because clearly it's catching people out. But interestingly enough, Chris in the LMP2 class has not been able to make it through past Henko van den Berg. So Henko is giving the fight to Chris Stoltz and is making his presence known, as Paul Venter as well has made it up to P3 and is slowly trailing behind the leaders as he's trying to catch up.
Yeah, he looks to be making a nice comeback here. He's in third place at the moment and making up nice ground. But I don't actually know how far back he is because these numbers are looking weird. And we've got Henko van den Berg in the lead in the LMP2s with Crystals chasing him down right behind him. So there's definitely a chase happening here. Looks like Chris is gonna come to the end of the last sector. Is he gonna be able to get him? No, he's not gonna make a move up here. Into the right hander.
Yeah, through Aqua Minerale. No, not yet. He's still biding his time coming up into the chicane. Still, he looks down the inside.
Yeah,
he was giving him a little bit of a scare there.
Yeah. What is that? What's that curve called? Variante Alta, eh? Or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
like
Variante Alta.
Ooh, big snap for Henko. Does that open up for Chris Stoltz as he's down the inside? Not enough drive for him, and Henko lives to fight another day as he still holds on to the lead, going down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to hold on to this lead. Ernest is pulling a nice gap on Moat also. That's looking quite good. Nice to have a new person be such a strong contender to the guys that are there already. Jan Kleinans in third place, also quite a bit behind. He must have had some big mistakes at the beginning of the race there because he seems quite far back. Can you see the gap?
I can't see the gap, but I can see the visual damage on his bonnet and on the side panel on the right-hand side of the car. So he must have had some contact, but I do remember he was held back by Noor a little bit there. So that must have affected his charge a little bit, but it seems to be that like he's on it again. But interestingly enough, the top three in the hypercar class have very similar virtual energies, with P1 being 75%, P2 being 74%, P3 being 76%. So we might actually see them pit at very similar times during the race.
Yeah. So for the hypercars, yeah, and for the GT3s, I think they're really gonna struggle here when it comes to traffic management. I did say I'm gonna talk about this quite a lot during the race because of how narrow this track is in general, right? You don't have a lot of space to overtake here. The corners are kind of tight, so you have to be very careful of these guys. I mean, just with 10 people on the track during practice, it felt claustrophobic, and I can only imagine with 23 people on track, it's madness.
Oh, for sure. And a great example of that is to come with Chris Stoltz and Henko battling it out tooth and nail. I've just been watching in the third sector. They were going side by side, but Henko still held him off. So Chris might have the faster pace right now, but Henko's racecraft is very much keeping Chris behind and giving him a run for his money. But that might also help Paul Venter as they're going nose to tail right now. But this is the tightest part of the circuit, the middle sector. So he's going to have a very difficult time getting past Henko.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if the in-game timing is a bit better than what I'm seeing on the spectator view, and apparently it's not.
Yeah, we're having very big issues, so we have to
basically
just keep filing through the whole grid. And a good example of that is that I had to file through the GT3s to see what's happening, because there's a battle between Modre and Lecure for P6 as they're going side by side into a hairpin. Modre makes it through, and ooh, there was a big snap from one of the BMWs in the background for P8s, but Modre has made his way up to P6 in the LMGT3 class.
What an overtake in the pink Porsche. Yeah, this livery looks really nice. Modre Klaassen making the move stick there, looking really, really strong.
Yeah, and I've also just been...
Oh, you can't park there, Modre. I'm sorry, bro.
There's a yellow flag, momentary yellow flag. Aqua Minerale kicked up the gravel. There's just big calamity as now we're seeing the hypercars starting to lap the traffic, especially the GT3 right now, as it's the slowest class here. So it's going to be the first classes that the hypercar class is going to start making their way through. So yeah, this is going to be interesting for the hypercars to start navigating through, as we see just being bottlenecked here.
Yeah, the traffic management, like I said, we just got a DNF. Oh no, is that Lee Bullion out and Ari Venter?
Ari and Lee, so both of the hypercar, so now the hypercar grid has shrunk to just 4 people after such an insane start.
That's so unfortunate with Henko still keeping the lead in the LMP2s, but I do want to keep an eye on this fight because we know Chris Stoltz is not just going to lay down and take it. He is going to try and fight for the... Collide!
No! Oh. This is insane! Wow, they came to blows trying to fight for the lead. And does that open it up for Paul Venter? Yes, it does. So Chris is immediately on the back foot with Niall Greening right behind him, giving him a bit of a scare in terms of now he has to make up ground while still having to watch one of the LNR boys on his tail. So he's in a bit of a sandwich at the moment, and he just has to watch out, trying to make his way out, back up through the field. But if we know Chris from all of his races, he is going to make a charge as he's weaving left and right to build up the tire temps again. He is going to try and make up those places. He's going to try and salvage the race as well as he could.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, I don't know what happened there. I don't know whose fault that was, but I know there's going to be some words exchanged after the race. Hopefully they just keep it in the incident form. But yeah, that was an interesting one, and I'm glad we caught it on stream also. Looking at the lead now, we got Henko, who's got a comfortable gap ahead of Paul Venter, who got very lucky there. Chris Stoltz is now going to be chasing him down instead of
that's going to be quite the battle to watch
Yeah.
between Chris and Paul. As very much we know, his nickname is Paul the Wall Fenter, and he's going to be a wall against this man. This is the best shot at a podium that Paul has gotten all season, and he's going to try and capitalize on that altercation between Henko and Chris. I didn't expect the fireworks to go off so early into the race, especially in the LMP2 class, where it tends to be the usual where Chris manages the race. But that's clearly not the case this time around. So Imola's already biting at people. And yeah, that's crazy.
I'm just having
stuff.
a look at the GT3s here. Johan Blugnout in comfortable lead in the GT3s in his beautiful BMW. What a lovely car. And then we've got David van Wyk in the Porsche. He's way behind with Kyle Ooster isn't chasing him down actually. He's right behind him. Hopefully he can catch him in that lovely Camaro. That thing is so nice. What a nice color. That's a nice livery. So these guys are gonna fight it out nicely and down the hill, and he's almost on his tail. Is he gonna get him? Okay, he's gonna try and get him down the straight. Hopefully he can catch a nice draft there, go into the first sector, and then hopefully pull a move. Let's see what he does here.
Yeah, let's see if the V8 of the Corvette is enough for him to have enough of an advantage going into T1. Who's better on the brakes? I've heard that the Porsche is really good on the brakes, and it
not
shows.
this time. Not this time.
Too far. But the corners, that Corvette is really solid.
Yeah, absolutely. Is he gonna be able to get him under braking into Tosa?
It depends on how much oomph and momentum the Corvette has. It doesn't have a great exit, so he's just forced to trail yet again. So this is definitely a battle that's going to ensue. So it's just going to be a kind of a following train. And honestly speaking, with Imola, it just feels like that's going to be the case until those dreaded pit stops. I'm just looking down the field as Paul is being lapped by Noor, and that almost got a little bit hairy there. But Paul has managed to build somewhat of a gap. Something's happened to Chris Stoltz, because now Chris Stoltz is P4 and now is in P3. So at the moment, both the LNR boys are in the... Yeah, something big happened there, which allowed both LNR boys to be in the podium spot right now.
Absolutely. Henko now quite a sizable gap in front in P1. He must be having a great time out there. Just chilling, managing his traffic, waiting for the guys to catch up with him. I don't think they are. There's a lot of fighting happening behind him. What's happening in the Hypercars? Ernest has got a good lead here over Mu'ath, who is in second place. Followed shortly by Jan Kleinans. And then we got Noor, who's catching up nicely. I'm glad he's persevering. The pace is not quite there yet. The faster Hypercars are doing 131s, whereas Noor is only doing 132.5 as his best. So there's definitely a problem with his car. But it looks like he's working his way through the field there. He's going to pass Henko van der Berg shortly. And I think we need to have a look and see how the rest of the LMP2s are doing.
Yeah, it seems to be just business as usual at the current moment, with Henko in the lead, Paul in second,
Rob just went
Neil
off.
Greening in third. So yeah, it's kind of just been, there's sizable gaps at the moment, and it's kind of just everyone trying to manage through the traffic, especially for the LMGT3s, where they can very much hold up the faster cars in very awkward areas. So that's something to take notice of. But something else to take notice of is that the clouds are blocking the sun. It is getting darker. And what does that ensue for the drivers on track? What story is going to be told if there's a potential chance of rain, which, I mean, Imola is very known for. There was a flood not too long ago that halted the F1 race to be held here. But yes, this is a track that is known for its torrential downpour. So that is going to play a big factor if that is the case.
And with the pit stops coming in about 5 minutes, the guys will have to make some big decisions about whether or not they're gonna wait for the rain or whether or not they're gonna pit early and take a chance. Lots of calculations going through their minds right now because I know for sure there was some drizzle in the practice server around about this time. So there is definitely a chance of rain, and there's definitely a chance that will mix things up very, very nicely here. We know that rain always makes things very interesting because you have to think about your pit strategy, you have to think about what the other guys might do. Is it going to rain long enough for you to stay on your mediums or your hards? You know, like the hypercar guys also have to make big decisions, and then at the same time, I'm going to mention it for the 4th time now, they still have to manage the traffic as well. So a lot going through these guys' heads right now.
Oh, for sure. You couldn't have put it any better. It is going to be quite an interesting battle of strategy. As I'm seeing Niall's car, Neil Greening's car, and he has his wipers on. So I'm just starting to see this with everyone else on the grid. Their wipers are on.
Spicy. Oh,
So
it's good. I think something's gonna happen at Echo Minerale for sure. Someone's gonna go off there. I wish I could just put the camera on that spot in the track because we know something's gonna happen shortly.
Yeah, they're gonna have to start tiptoeing across the track. So usually what happens in these instances is that people start to turn up their TC, and those who are in the GT3s also amp up their ABS. So they have to be very, very cautious because right now it's fine. The rain is not too bad, but when it starts to pick up and you're too used to it when it's dry, that's when it starts to catch you out. So going to be a very interesting turn of events here, and this might dictate who gets to win and who gets to lose.
Absolutely. And I'm just thinking now, what's going through their minds? Do we know if there's going to be more rain? Is it just going to be this little bit? Is it going to continue? Are the clouds getting darker, or is the sun going to come back?
Lots of questions, but sorry to take your attention away, but Chris Stoltz is making a move on Greening, and he makes the move down into T1 through the traffic.
Well done.
Yeah, very close move.
In the drizzle also. Well done to him. That's a great move.
Yeah, incredible stuff from Chris Stoltz. They almost went 3 wide with the traffic there, but Greening is sticking with him because the traffic here is going to halt Chris Stoltz's charge a little bit, but also Greening as he gets blocked by Modre Klaassen as he's trying to make his way through. And this is not the new LMP2s that were released in the game with the 60 plus 60 horsepower. These are still the normal LMP2s that run in the Le Mans spec in the WEC calendar. So they don't have that much oomph to get past the GT3s, but still great stuff from Chris Stoltz here as he's definitely making his way through. But the problem, I think I'm starting to see wrench icons on the LMP2.
Yes, I'm seeing it too. I'm seeing it too. So they need to come into pit soon.
Yeah, exactly that. I was just going to say that they're going to start having to come into pits. So this is exactly what you're talking about. Where now the strategy somewhere. Ooh, okay, interesting stuff.
Oh, it's
okay. So a brief yellow flag. We're gonna start seeing that a lot as the rain starts to pick up. And there we go. Paul Fenter into the pits now. So we'll see how long some of those LMP2s can go on for, and if the wets is a good gamble. Chris is going with him. Pits.
Yeah, Chris is with him. I hope we're gonna be able to see the tires that they put on. Let's keep an eye on the pit stops here. So I wonder if they're going to be just filling up or changing tires, or if they're going to, like stick to the original strategies. I wonder what they're actually going to do here. I think if I were them, I would actually stick to my original strategy. I don't think the rain is going to get much worse than this. It might actually dry up a little bit more. So maybe just top up with fuel, keep the tires because the temps haven't been that great, and then keep going. Hopefully everyone else changes tires and that gamble works out,
Yeah, I agree. Just kind of looks like drizzle at the moment, but if it picks up, then that gamble is not going to work, as we also see Danny in the pits. And it seems like Henko, Niall Greening, and not Danny Steerkamp, sorry, the top 3 in LMP2s are still insisting on going out, but the rain doesn't seem to have picked up. And there's a yellow
but
flag.
that was a very long pit stop by Paul and Chris, so interesting.
Sorry, something's happened to Ernest. He has spun out from the lead. That was the yellow flag. He is now behind Johan Kleinans as he's locking up the rears. So Kleinans is going to have to go through this traffic really quickly. But yeah, crazy turn of events as Limbo goes on to the grass, and so does Kleinans for a brief moment. So we might have been wrong. We might have been wrong about the tire choice. We're going to have to see what happens.
He's on the odds, right? And man, that was I think just the unexpected happening here with a little bit of drizzle and all of the stuff that's still going through your mind. It can distract you. It can distract you. There's the wrench now, so he has to come in for the next lap. He's dicing here and he gets past him. Why did you let him go past?
Around the outside, Ernest takes Kleinans in a marvelous move as he tries to make his way back up. But as you were saying, Sinclair, they're going to have to start pitting. And speaking of pitting, Henko and Niall Greening have boxed. So they are currently in the pits. We don't know if they're going to put on just wets or if they're just going to keep going. But Paul has spun out, giving the place to Chris Stoltz. So so it seems like Chris Stoltz, Paul Venter, and Danny Steenkamp, who has the stop-go 30, they have opted not to change tires, and it seems to be biting Paul.
Oh, the risk is not paying off because the track is still a bit slippery.
Quite a bit slippery.
And the wipers are still going, which means there's definitely a drizzle. Oh no, Paul goes off the track. He's losing it. He's trying to find the wall. Oh no, this is not going well for Paul.
Tragedy with this
Did I jinx it by saying that they should go for that strategy? Did he actually listen to me?
Maybe he did, but it was the wrong call. He made the wrong call. Well, we'll see actually, because maybe in these first few laps, it's going to be hell on earth. But maybe after the heat gets a little bit into the tires, we might actually start to see some improvements. But Moath and Ernest into the pits. We're also going to have to wait there and see if they change for tires as well. As you see, Danny Steenkamp coming back into the pits to serve his penalty. But Kleinans has opted to keep going, and so has Noor as well. So these are interesting strategies that are unfolding here.
Yo, I must say, whoever the person is that comes up with these conditions, he's a genius. He's a genius, because this is exciting. Thank you.
Yeah. Very much so. Very much so. Also to bring attention, Ulrich de Jager, David van Veek, Marjorie Klaassen, Grant Lekier, JD Geldenhuys have all pitted. And it looks like they're still opting for the mediums. So it might not get wet enough, but I think it's just wet enough for mistakes to start happening. As we see, Henko is still in the lead. Niall Greening is still second. And now Chris Stoltz is in third, and he's going to start pushing. Moaz Musa coming out of the pits, and so is Ernest.
Yeah, there was some bump there, and this is interesting. He's going to come out into traffic, so he's going to lose a lot to Moaz. Ian and Noor, both of them still on track going, but there's wrenches here, so it looks like they might come in next lap. The drizzle is still going, boys. There's a yellow flag on track. What is happening?
Ooh, as this is all happening, Kleinans, Blicknoot are now pitting, as we also see JD Geldenhuys leaving the pits. Carl Oostenhuizen is also pitting now. So I'm very curious, is it a good idea to still stay on the mediums? It seems like everyone is thinking that, as we also see Vietia Buerta in the pits as well. So
and Ian is in. Ian is in. The wipers are still on, so that means the track is going to be wet for a while. This is making things really, really interesting. Oh my word! Henko van der Berg now solidly in the lead for the LMP2s with Neil Greening behind him, and Chris Stoltz also trying to catch up. Paul has stabilized now. Looks like in fourth place with Rob van der Heuvel trying to chase him down. Wipers are still on, so there is a bit of drizzle still happening on track. I'm looking at the GT3s. Jody Siedemann is still out there. He's in first place. And Johan is now coming out of the pits with Kyle Oosthuizen right behind him. And what looks like Jan Kleinans right behind him.
Yeah, so he was placed in a similar situation as Ernest, where he gets held up by the GT3 class. As we see, he came out in front of Muaz. He has inherited the lead. That was an incredibly fast stop, or it was an incredibly slow lap from Muaz Musa. So Kleinans and these strategies as of late, you've seen at Circuit de la South, he's just been playing it
he just put fuel in. He didn't change tires. He just put fuel in.
Yeah,
that's all he did.
The case, yeah.
That was it was a splash and go, and now we have to see. There's another yellow flag somewhere.
Yeah, the rain is going to start doing this. We're going to start seeing people maybe just lock up or just do something wrong. But as all of this, Jody Siedemann is into the pits as Vapour Evening exits the pits. I don't know what had happened to him. He has 0% fuel though, which blocks Siedemann, and that's Vapour Evening's race done. He ran out of virtual energy.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Hectic stuff, hectic stuff.
He pushed too hard. He went too far. Oh,
like Icarus, he just flew too close to the sun. But as that's happening, Moath is closed on Johan Kleinans as they head down that main straight. And this is going to be interesting, considering the weather and considering the pace that Moath has been having in this weather. But Kleinans, with the brilliant strategy play, now just has to defend from Moath. So these two titans back at it again as Kleinans runs wide, which allows Moath to take the better line. But he's going on the outside, which is not the favorable line, as he's trailing behind Kleinans, and they are coming close towards traffic. Two titans, two championship contenders. Everything comes down to these final 4 races as Moath takes the outside line. Kleinans defends the inside, and massive snap for Kleinans, which gives the Moath a little bit of an edge as he's again forced on the outside. Kleinans down the inside. Can he defend it? Can Moath go around the outside? Squeezes him onto the curb. He manages to make the move stick going into Aqua Minerale. Moath has inherited the lead.
What a drop!
Insane. Insane.
Yeah. There's a yellow flag somewhere on the track. Let's see. I think Moath just has the fresher tires here. That's what's happened. And Jan took a chance, and maybe it hasn't paid off.
Or he's also got his tires up to speed quicker because he's had more time to prepare them. But I think that yellow flag was greening. He went into the gravel trap in the first sector, going into the second sector. But he's back on track in 4th position, which allows Paul to inherit 3rd. But now Chris is 2nd. So will he be able to get close to Henko as we see one of the LMP2s go into the pits? I don't know if that's Danny Steenkamp, who's going back into the pits.
Yeah,
he has not been having a great race. Yeah, he has not been having the smoothest of races so far.
So let's just do a recap on the DNFs. We got Vapour Evening, Lee Bullion and Ari Venter all DNF'd. Sorry boys.
Kleinans has gone off when Greening went off in that gravel trap at the exit of the first sector. So that gives Moath a bit more of a comfortable lead. Maybe that Ferrari is just too twitchy in the wets, and maybe the Toyota's just coming alive.
Absolutely. I think that was JD Geldenhuys that was on the side of the road there. Someone had gone off at the, I think it was him in the Mustang.
I think it was, yes. It was a momentary yellow flag. But yeah. And he spins out again. JD Geldenhuys spins out into the gravel trap again. So now the rain is starting to catch up with everyone, especially those who did not opt for new tires or wets. So yeah, man, this has been really interesting as he's kind of just yeah, he's kind of just struggling around as he spun into Aqua Minerale
Yeah.
and earlier on as well. So yeah, the rain is starting to catch out everyone. Now it's about a matter of survival. Can you make it to the end with slicks on a sort of wettish track?
Yeah, man, it's a disaster to the Vatsa, and it's been a challenging race for these guys. It came through. I said it in the beginning. It's gonna be a tough race. It's gonna be hardcore. You're gonna have to fight the conditions. You're gonna have to fight the people around you. You're gonna have to fight the people in the other classes. That's the challenge, knowing when to commit and when to back out, managing that traffic. It's a lot going on, and that's what makes it really difficult as a driver here. So big ups to these guys who are pushing through and persevering in these tough conditions, and I'm really enjoying the show that they are putting on for us tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. Really interesting stuff here. As we also see, Ernest is kind of making some headway towards Jihan, but not close enough. But definitely the man to watch is Muath Musa, because Muath Musa is making this car work in these conditions and is just kind of controlling the race very well. The only issue is, I'm seeing here, he has 69% virtual energy, while Kleinans has 76 and Limburg's has 70%, with Mansour having 80%. So did Muath underfuel?
I don't think with 12 minutes left that he underfueled. That's I think gonna be enough. They're gonna do about 10 more laps.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, so I think that should be okay. I mean, I think the strategy is definitely paying off here. Just trying to see where that yellow flag is. Someone definitely went off.
Makes sense that would be the case with these conditions, but it seems like everyone has been playing ball. Oh no, it's Galdenes again. He's getting off of the grass and back onto the track. So he has not been enjoying these conditions. He's just struggling to find the grip and struggling to find how hard he can push the car before it snaps.
Yeah, with 12 minutes left here, I wonder if he's going to push through, or if he's just going to try and get whatever the problem is repaired, or just call it a night. I don't know. It looks like the rain has stopped though, and the track is going to be drying up.
Yeah, so it seems like the wipers have also stopped moving. So yeah, the track is going to start drying up soon. But it was a good call to stay on the ride.
Look at Muath's rears. They are bright. So I wonder if his setup was set up kind of for like, like these conditions. And now that it's drying up a bit more, he might struggle a bit. And Jihan might catch him. Because remember, Jihan, we said stuck to his original strategy from the start. So maybe now that the track is drying up, his car will come online and he can put on the chase to catch up with Muath.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And speaking of catching up, Chris Stoltz is making headway. And now that there is no rain, he can push full throttle to the metal. And this could be interesting. We're going to see fireworks again between him and Henko, because clearly Henko is not wanting to give up that lead. He wants a win. We want a win, a new winner in the LMP2 class. But we also know Chris Stoltz. Chris Stoltz is very, very good at what he does. And he's going to try and replicate that golden magic that he always does.
Look at him coming in the background there. He's got 10 minutes. He's hunting down his prey. He's watching him from a distance. He wants that lead back. He knows he's number one right now in the LMP2. So he wants to come fetch. He wants to come fetch that lead. But he's gonna have to come take it from Henko. I know Henko van der Berg is a fighter. He's not gonna give up easily as Chris approaches him around the track here.
Yeah, Henko, we have seen him even at Circuit de la Sarthe. He is willing to take the fight to Chris. One of the few people who can in this class. But we can see Chris is just gaining and gaining and gaining. But it's one thing to gain, but it's another to pass. And we have seen with Henko that he does not allow people to easily pass. He really, really wants that top step of the podium, and he has been working very hard for it. So yeah, this battle is one battle to watch. It's going to be an insane dice between these two. As we also see in terms of catching up, Kyle is catching up to Johan Blichnote. So maybe in the dries, that Corvette just works a little bit better.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm just trying to see if I can see some numbers here for the tires, but I don't know if the tires are actually coming through. It says that the top 4 in the hypers are all on mediums, so it doesn't look like anyone. Maybe it's just fresh tires versus not fresh tires. That's what I think has happened here with the strategy.
Yeah,
maybe Mu'ath changed and Yian didn't.
Maybe, but we also know that Ferrari is quite a twitchy car. But sorry, to take our attention away from this conversation, JD Caldenas has hit the wall hard enough that his car has no rear wing. His day just went from bad to worse. But it's also allowed...
That's a DNF.
Yeah, that's a DNF or just crawling back to the pits. But with 8 minutes, that's going to be a very hefty job. But there's another battle happening at the current moment between Ernest and Johan Kleinans. But Limburgs goes straight past the chicane as the rear locks up. But Kleinans has to deal with a huge amount of traffic, but he's managed to make it through. So Limburgs is managing to catch up on pace, but consistency is very difficult with that Cadillac from the looks of it, as Wath is just allowed to run away with the lead.
Absolutely. I think Mu'ath's got a decent lead over Yihan here. Yihan's gonna have to put his head down and hope that Ernest doesn't catch up with him. It's quite close to him, so I think there's gonna be quite a big battle there. Is there any other action that you want to point out on the track?
Yes, there is, between Henko and Chris. Chris has gone back into the pits as he was a second or so behind. Chris has gone back into the pits. He has a red icon, which means he has to fill up. So he has ran a little bit short on the petrol side. Incredible scenes that gives Henko a bit of breathing space as he's trying to make it past a lapped LMP2 of Rob, who is kind of refusing to allow Henko to get through, which is interesting. But yeah, and he runs into the gravel.
Wow, he went
but yeah, wow, I did not expect that. So Chris gives the second place to Paul Venter. Will he miss out to Niall as well? I don't think so. I think he managed to make it. Chris Stoltz comes out in P3 ahead of Neil by quite a substantial amount. But what happened with Chris? Did he just underestimate how much fuel?
This is unlike him. He doesn't usually make mistakes like this. He's usually really strong with the strategy and quite consistent. So with 6 minutes remaining, I'm hoping that maybe he can at least salvage the third place here. Hopefully try and catch up, put his head down and see if he can catch back up to Paul, but it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, quite a lot of work. It's going to be down to if Paul or Henko makes a mistake, because we've got like 5 minutes left. But now that makes me curious, is every other LMP2 low on fuel? Or was it just Chris?
I don't know. I mean, they don't show the energy for me, so I can't see what they have left. I can only see for the hypercars, and they look like they're fine with around between 35 and 47% energy remaining. So we'll have to see. This is interesting.
Yeah, quite interesting. Yeah, and now it's just managing traffic and making it to the end with a lot of these battle-hardened cars. And especially, like, I don't know, I'm just really interested as to why Chris made that error. How did he make that error? That's a very, as you said, very uncharacteristically like him. Because Paul Venter and Henko do not have wrench icons. So it was maybe just Chris underestimated how much fuel the car uses.
Just watching Ernst, he's going to make a move on Yian. Is he gonna get him? He's going around the outside.
Around the outside. That's been the move of the night so far. But Limburgs is put onto the gravel. But somehow he has enough drives to keep up with Kleinans, even though he was on the gravel. Kleinans shoving him wide. Oh, he cuts across. Limburgs cuts across and somehow takes the lead between these two in the battle for second.
That's top speed. That's top speed.
There's a big lockup. Kleinans almost took out Limburgs. That was a very close call. But clearly the Ferrari's just not gelling well with these conditions, and that's Limburg's in second.
That was insane. What an overtake. I don't know if there was something wrong with Ian's car because he kind of made it look easy. Like, the straight line speed definitely wasn't there.
Wow.
And it looks like he's pulling quite a big gap on him now. So, yeah, heading around the track now into Acqua Minerale. Hopefully he can... yeah, he looks like he's pulling quite a big gap. So something might be wrong with Jan's car.
Yeah, maybe. With all of that damage, I wouldn't be surprised. But I want to take our attention away from that because now Henko is in the pits. So maybe this is an LMP2 issue. Yeah, he's coming out of the pits. That was a splash and dash. So maybe the tank isn't big enough.
Paul is coming in as well.
Yeah, it's Paul as well. But let's see.
So Chris was the mastermind after all.
Ooh, but
okay, so that means Neil and Rob are still out. Which, like, does that mean Neil takes the lead? What is his energy that he has left? Because Paul is still in the pits.
Oh, Chris Stoltz took the lead from Henko just narrowly. So now with Chris Stoltz's tires up to 10th, he might be able to pull away, but Henko is not going to let him through so easily. He is keeping up, and he looks down the inside, thinks better of it, tries to stick with Chris Stoltz. Oh, but a massive lockup on his head defeats his charge as he's going into this tight hairpin. And once again, a lockup from Henko. But Henko is very close, nose to tail with Chris Stoltz. Can he make it? Oh, he's got a massive drive. Wow, he takes the lead. It takes the lead. Chris Stoltz, Ranger Icon again. Will he make it to the end? Maybe he starts fuel saving. That's why he maybe let Henko through. But Henko back into the lead with that with that move.
That was epic. What a move. Something is weird here. I don't know. I'm getting weird vibes of this race. Why is all this drama happening? What is going on here?
Stages, you wouldn't expect it. Like, this is like Circuit de la South, where it's like the people had to pit twice, and it seems to be the case.
Neil's got the wrench, so he has to come into pit. And he goes off track.
Wow. Into the barriers! He made a costly error! And it doesn't seem like too much damage, but there was a massive shunt into the wall. And that allows Chris Stoltz to get away with it because Chris Stoltz has to go back into the pits, but now he's spinning in the gravel trap. Paul Fenter goes through. And wow, this has been intense in the LMP2 class. But Chris is still insisting that he doesn't go into the pits, so he's probably fuel saving. He thinks he can make it to the end.
Yo, disaster strikes again. Neil.
Insane. Wow. It's always at the final moments that this championship really comes alive. It's really incredible scenes here, folks. Like, insane stuff. I always expect these battles to be solved on track, but they more often than not, get solved in the pits, and it produces some really interesting results. I'm just at a loss for words.
Yeah, this race has been epic so far. Some interesting strategies. People doing weird and smart things up and down the field. But we haven't really spoken about Johan Bluchnout because he's just been on his own drive here, lonely all the way in the front in the GT3s, in his BMW. What a drive it's been from him as we approach the end of the race in his beautiful BMW. The consistency, no mistakes, like pulling a Russell here in Imola. What a drive by him, man. Let's wish him congratulations as he comes across the line here shortly. You can call it, Andre.
Yeah, I'll call it. Okay, so this man who's had a lot of highs, a lot of lows. Last week was a lot of lows for him as things just kept going wrong. His wheel had a mechanical issue which took him out of the contention for the lead. I think it was a force feedback issue. But here he is dominating in Johan Bluchnout fashion. He is a top predator in this class. He is the top of the food chain, and he's once again showing why he is one of the best in this championship and why you cannot count him out of the championship as he comes across the start-finish straight. Johan Blicknoot in first for the GT3 class as he crosses the line in first position by a substantial gap.
Oh, and then we got Kyle Oosthuizen miles behind him, who's also going to cross the line shortly. Let's have a look at Mu'adh. He's about to go.
With those discs right, red, eh?
Yeah, Project Vapour represented. Taking number 1 in the Hyperclass. Mu'adh Musa, my boy, in the Toyota. Yeah. Well done. Hey, wow. He showed us today. You can be fast, you can be a hot lapper, but are you a racer, bruh? Can you dice? Huh? That's what Mu'adh said today. Well done to him. Huh?
And Ernest crosses the line as well in second place, and Kleinans in third. But yeah, Mu'adh Musa managing to recover from the heartbreak of Circuit de la South, as we also see Henko Vandenberg. We have a new winner in the LMP2 class, and it's this man who has tried week in, week out to get the top step, and he's just played it to perfection for tooth and nail with Chris Stoltz. Made the right calls, made the right amount of fuel, and he crossed the line in first place with Chris Stoltz in second. And we have a new podium sitter with Paul Fenter in third as he's about to cross the line on the start-finish straight. But what a crazy turn of events.
Yo, that was another epic race. What? We are cranking out the entertainment. If you got value tonight, please hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe if you enjoy this content. We put a lot of hard work into it. I really hope that you've enjoyed this race as much as I did. Apologies for all the technical issues and the glitches with the timing and everything. But yeah, congratulations to all of these guys, man. The Hypercars, the LMP2s, the LMGT3s. Some masterful drives under real pressure tonight. We saw some strategy gambles, traffic chaos, and a championship fight that just got even more interesting. Vandenberg, LMP2, takes the win over Chris Stoltz. Well done. Well done.
He broke the mold that was set in place, and those expectations of what the LMP2 class is, where a lot of people just kind of understood and just accepted how dominant Chris was, and they didn't even try to fight it as much, or they were just trying to fight within the respective battles. But Henko, he was like Icarus, except his wings did not melt as he flew close to the sun. He conquered the sun, and there we go. First time Henko makes it to the top step of the podium. We have a new winner on LMP2. Who would have thought that would have happened this season?
Well done to Henko. Is he coming?
Yeah, so here we speak of the devil. Henko's waiting. We're just waiting for more people to join in the interview waiting room. But yeah, I don't know, how would you debrief that race? Like, how would you summarize that race in like a couple of words before we get our commentator or our interviewees in?
Pit stops at Imola make or break the race. That whole pit stop situation that happened there, it cost him so much. Chris, we thought he was the master, he was the genius, but it turned out it was actually Henko. So for me, I thought this track was going to be about track limits and managing traffic, but it was actually about the pit stops. That's what it was about for me, and I think that whoever mastered that were the guys who came out tops tonight.
Oh, I could not agree any more. Yeah, it definitely came down to pits, and just because of like just the nature of the track, and I think just the rain threw a spanner in the works. I mean, we just think back to Mu'adh's move on Jan Kleinans, where he just went around the outside, and just like all of that transpired after the pits. So yeah, really interesting scenes here. You know, like I was expecting some more stuff to happen in the LMGT3 class, but it was kind of like Bahrain, where everyone was just trying to make it to the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, The LMP2 class, very, very interesting. But let's start with the LMGT3 winner, Blichnotes. Once again, let's drag him in here. Mr. Johan Blichnotes. How did what? Actually, before I even ask, I'm going to congratulate you because that's yet again another masterful and dominant drive that we can usually expect from you. Can you walk us through what happened?
Good evening, you guys. Yeah, it was just push through, wait for the rain to hit, see what the track's gonna be like, and luckily it was not that wet. So keep the right tires and just focus on keeping the car on track.
Oh, that's very well
Yeah,
done. Very,
makes
very
sense.
well
Makes
done.
sense. Yeah, no, and how was the rain looking like? Because on our end, we just kind of saw it as drizzles, but it was enough to catch some people out. So how on edge were you with all of the rain around the circuit?
The rain was not that bad. It's just on the exits, you need to be mindful of the throttle and the curb. So your car does get a little fishtail happy. And more than that, it's not that much.
And
Okay, yeah, no, that was great.
so one of the things I noted in the race was like you were very, very consistent. But this was actually a race of survival with Imola's curbs and the traffic. You know, it makes the being in the GT3, very tough. So how did you keep it clean tonight around the track?
I was just preparing myself for the first, maybe a push stint in the first part, and then do a lifting coast on the end to save and have some enough fuel. So then I like, no, let's switch it around and do the lifting coast in the beginning, and then have the better tires at the end when the rain is there. And yeah, I just keep hitting the apexes on the same spots, and the BMW behaved itself.
Nice.
Yeah, what a wonderful performance. Thank
Congratulations
you
again,
so
man.
much,
Very well
Blichnotes. And
done.
yeah, exactly. Congratulations. That cannot be overstated because, yeah, you are showing championship material here, and we cannot wait to see what you're going to do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah, thanks for Kyle once again coming to keep me company up front.
Well done.
Well done, Blichnote. Thank you.
All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, man. Calm and collected. The usual
Yes,
Blichnote
man. Yo.
nonchalantness.
Absolutely. I love it, man. I love it.
But yeah, let's get our next winner in. And this is a historical moment in the LMP2 history of the Evening Dash series. We have a new winner in the LMP2 class, and let's bring him in to see what his perspective was on the race. Henko, welcome and congratulations on the win, being the first or the second different winner in the LMP2 class and breaking the streak that we didn't think would ever be broken at this rate. Congratulations and well done on such a hard-fought win. How do you feel about that?
Thanks, guys. I'm feeling really happy, really stoked about this win. I don't know much words. I'm just really happy about it.
No, you did
That's awesome to hear.
you did an awesome job, dude. That was very well fought, epic drive by you in the LMP2. You guys are kind of like stuck in the middle, you know. How was the traffic balance? You've got hypercars flying past and GT3s to lap. Which was harder to deal with at Imola?
For sure, the traffic was fine in the beginning. The most of the traffic I caught was at the end when Chris was coming back at me. But I knew he still had to pit because he pitted a lap before me with Paul Venter. So I knew eventually I'm still gonna be in front of Chris. But yeah, the GT3s were mostly in the way at the end, and the hypercars were quite nice in the traffic, I must say.
And I have to address the elephant in the room. Look, Chris has been consistently winning and leading, and you know we are now thinking that there might actually be someone who's thrown his hat in the ring for a fight here. So where do you think you stand in that title fight now that you've gotten a win over him?
At the moment, still in second because I'm unfortunately missing two races. A race, I think, a race after this.
Oh.
unfortunately going away, so I'm missing a race. But
Oh
you know,
no.
you never know what's gonna happen. There's still
Yeah, he might DNF or ISCOM might happen or something. You never know.
we're
We're
also
hoping
an
the
out of
same for the F1. Hopefully Norris and
all the way that Max.
and the whole McLaren team fail and DNF so that Verstappen can win. Okay.
All the way.
Thank you, Inko. Anything else from your side, Andre?
Yeah, no, I think you just summed it up perfectly, and just to hear that like joy of winning, it's what we do all of this for. So yeah, well done, Henko. Very well fought. It
Lekker,
was a
man.
very tooth and nail fight, and yeah, you just did really, really well. I wanted to quickly ask though, did this new update like throw any spanner in the works in terms of getting used to how the LMP2 drives, or was it just a slight adjustment and then it was business as usual?
I think it was mostly just a slight adjustment. The tires felt like it needed a bit more laps to get some heat in before you can put and push the car. But otherwise than that, I think only little adjustments that I get used to, so it's not bad.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much for your time, Henko. Once again, congratulations.
Yeah, awesome,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
Thank you for your time and check you next time. That was lekker. Well done, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, and then finally, we'll have our last winner, which is Muath Musa, yet again on the top step of the podium. Let's get him in here. Welcome, Muath Musa. Once again, congratulations on yet another win. It was, I can imagine for you, it's a complete joy to bounce back after a very tough day at the office in Le Mans. How do you feel about this race?
I see. I feel good. Making me blush again as always. I think. But yeah, I'm happy to walk away with the win. Look, Lumbergs was also putting in quite a fight, so it's quite nice to have him also join in on that. But yeah, very much happy that we got the win today. I would have wanted to battle it out with Lumbergs, to be honest. I mean, we had a session together, and I noticed he kind of struggled quite a bit in like these damn conditions and stuff. So that would have made it a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the race was fun, sweaty, definitely, as always. And yeah, also had a nice, good battle with Kleinhans there. I don't know if you
Yes,
guys watched
dude.
it on screen. So
It
We
was
saw that
a
overtake.
super entertaining race.
yeah,
You
I
guys
guess he
gave
didn't
us
change
yo.
tires.
It was epic. It was epic. But I have to ask you a question, bruh. Like, you know, Limburg's he's fast, bruh. So how much of the night's result came down to outright pace versus pit strategy?
Um, I would say the mistake called it, to be honest, because on outright pace, I guess I would say in the second stint we would have definitely battled it out there a lot more than the first stint. Yeah, I made some changes to the car that also, I guess, hindered me in qualifying because I opened the ducts quite a bit because I noticed in the practice session the car would start smoking come 25 minutes
Yes, I was
into it.
there. I remember
So
this. Yes, you spoke
yeah,
about it.
yeah. So I was only expecting to open it up for the race, but yeah, I left it open, I guess, for qualifying. It is what it is. So yeah, so I was expecting the first stint to be quite slow. When the engine started heating up for that second stint, then the pace started coming in again.
Yo, the strategies, the mind games, bro. Yo,
Uh,
well done, dude.
There's going to be a lack of dice there for the last or for the second stint if it wasn't for that mistake. I mean, it would have been a three-way battle, especially with Kleinan's strategy to not take tires. I don't know if he took tires or not, but based on his stop, I would
No,
assume
he didn't. He didn't. It was a splash and
So
dash. Yeah.
yeah, that is where practice also came into play. Notice that now use tires is not going to work in the wet,
Oh,
or
we.
when it's damp. So that played also a big role in that battle with Kleinans. And then, yeah, it was just management until the end.
Okay, so let's look at the championship picture here. With this result, how does that change your approach heading into round 7 at Bahrain?
The target is shifted from Kleiners to freaking Limburgs.
Huh?
So we
But
need
he
to
didn't
make
just
sure.
join, bruh. He didn't just join. He's a newcomer.
But he's spicing up that battle, in front, because now it's not only Kleiners to worry about. You got Limburgs breathing down your neck, and then also Noor. Don't count out Noor because he also has quite a lot of pace in the back.
Yeah.
Then we
He
have
just made a
now,
few
I
mistakes
don't know.
tonight. Yeah.
Now I was playing Superman. Look there, I can fly.
Just
And
Mark,
unfortunately, that hurt.
just tell me, do me a favor, man. Say his full name for me, please.
Now
No, the bro you were just
Who?
talking about.
Noor.
Yeah, say his full name.
Noor. I know him as Noor.
And his surname?
Feels like a
Mansoor.
trick question.
Isn't it Mansoor? Noor
It is.
Mansoor.
It is. It is.
Yeah, Noor Mansoor.
Yeah.
That's his name.
What?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
That's what I call him. His name is Noor Mansoor.
Yeah.
Oh
my Yeah.
Noor
days.
Mansoor. Yeah, no.
What a name.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
just a
confused
lekker,
as to what
lekker
Yeah,
cool guy.
Andre's like, what are these guys going on about here?
I'm so confused,
On
man.
the
Like,
screen, though.
We must
Yeah.
ask Noor. We must get Noor in here. We had him on comms the other night, so he can come tell us
Yeah.
how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, no, definitely. Tell him to win the next race. Or if he's want to.
yeah, easy,
If he
easy.
is watching, tell him to come join.
Okay.
But yeah.
Thanks, Muath.
Yeah, well done, man.
Please,
Well done.
simply, it, Andre. I'll catch you guys, man. Enjoy.
Cool, man.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. What a race. Yeah.
Crazy scenes, crazy scenes.
Closing thoughts from you?
Closing thoughts is that I think that definitely the closest championship is the Hypercars, which I was not expecting. I was expecting the LMGT3s to be quite close and also the LMP2s, but now it's the Hypercars. And like, I mean, even hearing what Marth was saying, now he has to worry about 3 more people, so instead of just the one person who's consistently there, and also like now Bullion, maybe he like exhaled a little bit when when he heard about Nile not being able to race. But in his place came 2 other people who would breathe down his neck. So when Nile gets back into the ring, it's going to be a 4 to 5 car fight for the lead, which I think is going to be a really interesting battle, and it's going to throw a really big span in the works for the championship, because it's very much against Yihan and Moath. And now that
Yeah.
they have to worry about people who aren't fighting for the championship, they're fighting for wins. They're not gonna hold back. They're not gonna pull punches. I mean, we see that with F1 with Oscar and Lando. They're a bit more reserved because they need to see that championship fight to the end. But people who are not in the fight for the championship, they can throw caution to the wall. So
Yeah.
Yian and
Very
Moaz have
interesting.
that. Yeah, exactly. They have this big chip on their shoulder, or they have this big looming presence where they can't act as brash and harsh or like abruptly as maybe their competitors can.
Yeah, this is why we love the Project Vapour Evening Dash. Close racing, daring overtakes, and pure passion. These guys are putting it all on the line here. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all the drivers, the community, and of course everyone tuning in live here every week. We really appreciate all the support that we've got so far. It's been amazing. We'll be back very soon with some liquor racing action.
For sure. Week
yeah.
in and week out. Like every single time, I'm always expecting there to at least be a race where, like, not that much happens, because that happens. But like every single race, something insane happens that like kind of gets us at the edge of our seats, and then just like wants us to follow this whole championship and like all of its stories. It's quite like I didn't expect so much to happen, and this formula's just kicked off, and wow, it's been really awesome to watch.
Epic, man, epic. I'm gonna close it out for us on behalf of myself, Sinclair, and my co-caster Andre Awe. Thank you for being with us tonight, guys. We'll catch you in round 7 at Bahrain as season 2 continues. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.